Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is our NXT review. And this was the go-home show before NXT TakeOver War Games this Saturday. And I also want to remind you guys that our NXT TakeOver War Games preview and predictions will be taking place tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to give a full breakdown of the card. So you know how these shows go. We'll talk about it, but we won't dig too deep into it. You got to wait one more day for that. But looking at this go-home show as is, I thought it was a very solid go-home show with a very fun main event for the advantage in the War Games matchup. We got some fine video packages hyping up other matches and a few pretty decent matches sprinkled in here and there as well, particularly highlighting the women's division. Ashton, what do you think of this go-home show before TakeOver War Games this Saturday?
Absolutely. Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode of NXT. I'm not even going to talk that much about War Games because we are doing our preview and predictions tomorrow, and I don't want to spoil too much about that because I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night. I know that for sure.
Absolutely, partner. So with that said, let's get right into our first segment, Heat of the Night. I got no heats of the night. What about you, partner?
I don't have anything. No, let's get into this.
All right, let's get right into our NXT review, and we open up with the EST of NXT, Bianca Belair versus the HBIC, the head baddie in charge, in her words, Mia Yim. Ashton, what do you think of this matchup?
This was a solid match. Nothing really to write home about. I feel like Bianca kind of dominated most of the match. Mia got a few little spots in here and there, but this was like 80% Bianca.
Yeah, I watched the match. I thought it was a solid matchup. I actually like that the story. I've noticed that the story kind of being told in Bianca's matches is like she's got all of this potential and all of this ability, like her raw power and stuff, and she's going against people more experienced than her, so it's like a learning curve, but she's like adapting to it and she's winning. And this is pretty much that again here. She wins with the Burning Hammer, which commentary termed the KOD. I don't know what that stands for. It
wasn't a Burning Hammer either.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. But regardless, like they call it the KOD, and I don't know what that stands for, but she gets the win with it. I thought it was a fun match, good back and forth. And yeah, I still hope that Bianca gets her win over Nikki Cross. But, we'll just have to see if they address it at a later time. In the meantime.
Yeah, because prior to them saying that it was the KOD, I had been kind of in my head calling it the Psycho Buster because it's like a psycho driver, like what Super Dragon does. But rather than dropping them on their head, she drops them on their face.
Right.
So it's like a face buster. It's like a psycho driver into a face buster. So I was just calling it a Psycho Buster. I think that sounds cool. But KOD, and we don't know what that stands for. I even asked the local TwitWoW expert on Bianca Belair, Asia, in the Discord, and she doesn't even know what KOD stands for. She thought that it was a reference to an album that who was it? J. Cole put out.
Yeah, because my mind immediately went to something like Kiss of Death, but like that doesn't make any sense given the maneuver. So I don't know what it could stand for, but all I know is the KOD got the 1, 2, 3, and Bianca Belair is still undefeated. So she continues her trek to an NXT Women's Championship match.
And how you gonna enunciate the first two and then not the last two? Undefeated.
Fair enough. But yeah, we'll see when she gets her NXT Championship match. So,
I will say though, I think that this is almost like a good litmus test match because like we know what Mia Yim can do. Like we've seen amazing matches out of her. So this was almost like, here's where Bianca is so far because she really did control most of this match. So this kind of gives you an idea of how far along Bianca is in her development. And to me, it just says what I've been saying and thinking the whole time, which is she's still a long way off.
Right. So, all right. What came after this?
Yeah, after this, we got a backstage segment with the team that I'm just referring to as Warper, which is War, Pete, and Ricochet. Warper. It's War Raiders, Pete Dunne and Ricochet talking about how he feels like he needs to be the one to be in the match tonight. And then Pete Dunne says, nah, mate, I'm the man for the job. And then Rowe just says, enough! And Hanson says, it's going to be me.
Yeah, clearly an NSYNC fan there.
It's gonna be Hanson.
Wow. But yeah, Hanson
No,
just
doesn't have the same catchiness as the original. I'm sorry.
no, certainly not. He does say like, it's gonna be me to handle this. Personally, I would have nominated Dunn, but that's just me.
Oh, see, and I believe it or not, and this is like one of those weird situations where I can't prove it, so you don't have to believe me. I was really hoping it would be Hanson, so I popped big when it was announced that it was him.
Oh no, well see, I do believe you because I heard you pop. So yeah, like good for him. Definitely an interesting choice, and we'll talk about that main event later. But what came after this?
After this, we had Gargano Black video package. Just going over the whole Gargano odyssey at this point with Ciampa, and then Aleister Black getting involved, and Gargano costing him the world title, and then Black giving him the Black Mass while Gargano was trying to tell Ciampa that this doesn't end with you as the champion or whatever. And really, the most interesting quote that I've heard from anyone about this like sort of story that's been told is that Gargano was so obsessed with being the hero of his own story that he found himself becoming the villain of somebody else's story.
Right.
He is the villain to Aleister Black's story now.
Absolutely. And Black calls him out on it. That's what I really liked about this video package. It wasn't so much Johnny's perspective because we already kind of know what that is. It was just Aleister's response to it being like, you're the one that's delusional. You've been consumed by like cowardice. You're trying to find the way out of this web before the truth, confronts you. But I am that truth, he says angrily. I still think that Aleister Black has never been more badass, and this is a matchup I'll be really excited to break down tomorrow for preview and predictions. So on the whole, really fun video package. I quite enjoyed this.
They did an amazing job on this show of really giving each TakeOver War Games match a highlight. And they did so by giving 3 of them video packages and then having the 4th main event the show. Because there are only 4 matches set for War Games right now for TakeOver War Games. And one of them was Gargano Black. And then we also got video packages for Ciampa Dream and Kairi Shayna. And then the main event was to determine who got the advantage in the actual War Games match, which I'm assuming will be the main event of that show.
Yeah, and that main event's probably going to get a shit ton of time given its structure and nature and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's probably going to be an hour-long main event.
Oh, absolutely. So the small card size, really works to its advantage. And the way the matches got promoted, kind of the hierarchy on this show is probably reflective of the pay-per-view card, if I had to guess. So, yeah, it was good stuff. I enjoyed this video package, and nothing more I can say than that.
Yeah, last year's TakeOver War Games did have 5 matches on it, but the War Games match went for under 40 minutes, and we didn't have any other match that went for over 15. So I'm guessing that we're just going to have 3 longer matches, and especially because we know that the women's match is 2 out of 3 falls, that's probably going to go 25. And then we've also got 2 huge other matches, the championship match, and then Gargano Black is probably like the least important match on the card, which is kind of crazy to think about. But
yeah, man, absolutely.
All right, so up next, we can talk about the Kathy Kelly interview with Matt Riddle, where she asks him how his experience has been so far in NXT. He talks about how last week he made his NXT debut.
Yeah.
He said debut instead of debut. I loved that. But then Cassius Ohno shows up to confront him and talks about how, he wants this match and he's a man of action. And when he showed up, he took action against the NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura and the glorious Bobby Roode and all that shit. And basically Riddle just kind of accepts his challenge for next week and says that he's going to leave Ohno knocked out and that he's happy that they talk now because they get to fight.
Yeah. So Matt Riddle, just a chill guy. I love it.
Did you see the little mini doc that they did highlighting him?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I think Asia actually posted a link to it in the Discord, but there's a new-ish YouTube channel called WWE PC, which is, highlighting the Performance Center. And they have one that's Who's Your War Games fantasy team. They have the How to Make Epic Action Figures, where they talk about the 3D scanning of all the superstars. And then the other one that they have up is Matt Riddle, Episode 1, Arrival. So I think that it's like 2 new series. One of them is going to be Ask the PC, and then the other one's going to be Arrival. And Matt Riddle was the first episode of Arrival, and it's like a 6-minute video really highlighting his kind of introduction and implementation into the WWE Performance Center. It was actually really cool.
Nice. That does sound cool. But yeah,
Yeah,
good promo from him here. And
genuinely back dude.
say that again.
He is a genuinely laid back dude.
Yeah, and that's what I love. Very, very stoic in his approach. Doesn't really let things get to him. And why should he? You know, when you see how he can take care of business inside the ring, you know, Ono will get his receipt soon enough. So good promo here from Matt Riddle. Can't wait to see the match between him and Ono, and we can move on.
Hell yeah. Up next, we got our second match of the night, which was Carissa Rivera versus Lacey Evans. I'm hoping that someone in chat, I don't think Jackie's in here, so the odds are pretty low, but hoping somebody knows who the hell this Carissa Rivera woman is.
Yeah, the match was, this was pretty much an exhibition match for Lacey Evans. She got a push-up spot in at one point, to which I said to you it'd be much cooler if it was like a one-arm push-up, and you responded, or even like a diamond push-up, which you educated me on that.
Well, I feel like a diamond push-up could be like viable offense and everything too, because you're putting a lot more pressure on someone when you have your hands closer together like that. It's more weight in one area.
Right. Rivera got off like a drop kick or two. She got like some offense, but it really didn't matter. Lacey ultimately wins with the woman's right.
I guess she just goes by Carissa Rivera on the indies too. I'm seeing, different posters, and Carissa Rivera is her Instagram name and her Twitter name. So that just is what she goes by. I didn't realize that. I thought that it was like one of those usual like WWE made up names like Rachel Evers and shit like that.
Right. No, that's interesting. I wonder if we'll see more of her, though I doubt it. Lacey Evans does win with a woman's right. Afterwards, she cuts a promo that's pretty much just everything she's always said. You know, the women of NXT are classless, this and that. I'm going to teach them manners. I'll teach them how to be a lady, and I'll do it with a woman's right. This has been no different from any of Lacey's other promos. This is pretty much like, her line of thought. So nothing really to say there. I feel like there's really nothing new to say about this match or her promo. It's Lacey Evans. I think our past sentiments really haven't changed much. However, in that spirit, I'll hand the reins over to you anyway, just to get your thoughts, see if you
it's going to be a no from me, dog. I've got nothing. I mean, Carissa I think she has an interesting story because she's got legit Cherokee Indian or Cherokee Native American, I should say, heritage. But I mean, beyond that, yeah, like fuck Lacey Evans. Like they literally put a nationalist white woman against a legit Native American and had the white woman go over.
That says everything you need to know about WWE politics. But
I know, right? It's so bad. Let's move on. We got the Ciampa Dream video package next.
Again, great stuff. I love Ciampa. He's got like this menacing charisma about him that I gravitate to. And I gushed over Velveteen Dream on our last NXT TWitWoW. So I would recommend people go and listen to that if they really wanted my full thoughts on Velveteen Dream. Guy's a star. Guy fundamentally understands what this business is about and what makes money. And, I'm very excited about him being in his first main event, but I will not main event, but first like big NXT Championship match at a takeover. But we will unpack that more tomorrow for preview and predictions. Love the video package. Love everybody involved. Nothing more I can say than that.
Hell yeah. Then we got the Kairi Shayna video package.
Oh, my heart. Not really going to talk much about this because if I do, it'll be a 10-minute Kairi gushing session and nobody needs that. Again, love this video package. Great stuff. Finally, this rivalry is ending between Shayna and Kairi, which again, we will unpack tomorrow for preview and predictions. I will say my heart broke at the one line. My treasure box is empty now because the way she delivered that, it's like, of course you just want to stab me right in the heart and just cut it in half, of course. So, yeah, it was great stuff. I really appreciate what these two women have done over the course of, several months, really. And even longer than that, if you go back to the first NYC, like this has been a feud that's been a long, long time in the making. And 2 out of 3 falls seems appropriate. Can't wait. Ash, what do you think?
Kairi's line about how you can't beat me twice. She is so good.
Yeah, that's true. She's still confident in the face of it.
She's legitimately getting a lot better, dude. Like it's kind of the point that I don't even have to like strain to listen to understand what she's saying anymore. And that, like, I know that it sounds terrible, but like that's not a common thing for me with Japanese speakers and even like Spanish speakers, like Dario Cueto. I feel like I have to strain to really understand what he's saying a lot of the time. But With Kyrie, I don't have to at all anymore. I used to have to with her, but she has really picked up English and really has kind of Americanized herself, to put it in kind of a shitty, but yeah, like in a great way. Like she's really done a great job of picking up the language, and not just picking up the language, but picking up the accent too. I think that it's really like anyone like Nakamura speaks fluent English, but he's still got one hell of a Japanese accent. Kyrie's accent is starting to diminish to a degree that it's actually really like, I don't want to say productive, but it's really helpful, I think.
I mean, to kind of throw in with you on the shittiness, I'm gonna say it because this has nothing to do with our preview and predictions. I think, and you could call bullshit on it, but I think politics win the day all day. You know, no matter how good you are or whatever. I think because of her ability to speak English, her fluency, and the accent, I think she'll go farther than Asuka.
Yeah, well, yeah, because like there are genuinely a lot of people that dislike Asuka the performer because she just never bothered to like perfect her English. Like she just kind of rode on, oh, I'm really good in the ring, I'm charismatic. She never really perfected her English. And there are also people that have a problem with her, or like toning her body or anything, but I don't really give a shit about that. But like, yeah, like there are still people that think that that's why Vince never pulled the trigger on her, because she couldn't cut English promos and Vince can't handle that. So the fact that now Kyrie is really improving, and if anything, I would say she, as far as just, if you just look at the Japanese performers that the WWE has on the roster right now, she is clear and away in the lead as far as picking up English goes. Like she's boat racing their asses.
Which I think that's going to win her the day at the end of the day, because I mean, and that's why I think I wish Shinsuke would have gotten pushed harder, but I do think part of the reason he's even holding gold at all is that he can cut decent, entertaining promos that I can understand. And with Kyrie, I agree with you. I didn't have to strain once. She's really perfectly intelligible to me. And again, I feel really shitty saying all of this because this shouldn't be the determinant of who gets pushed and who doesn't, but it is the climate we live in. And to know that Kyrie's adapted to it, that's the only thing that really does give me hope that she may be a future women's champion on the main roster, is that they can pull that trigger on her. And I really don't think like have many reservations about it. So yeah, great video package. We'll see how this match turns out. And again, we're going to unpack the match tomorrow. Anything else you want to say? I'm got nothing. So it's all you. If you got anything to add?
God, that line delivery of Kyrie just being like, "Oh, I lost my treasure box. It's empty now." Oh God,
dude, my heart.
I know, it's so tragic. But then we got to our main event. We're already at our main event: Hanson versus Kyle O'Reilly for the advantage in the War Games match. And I just literally have in my notes, awesome everything, because
yeah, dude,
it was so good. Kyle O'Reilly is definitely one of my favorite in-ring workers that WWE has to offer right now.
Yeah, guys, I'll tell you something. Ashton doesn't even need his notes. I heard his live reactions to this shit. I feel like you popped for everything O'Reilly did. Like, you were really into what he was doing. And you're definitely like a Hanson fan as well, no doubt. But anybody that could have witnessed your reactions like I did would be able to pick up, yeah, that O'Reilly's one of your favorites working in NXT.
Yes.
Yeah, and who could blame you? I mean, the psychology was on point, working over the leg. I thought they told a fantastic David versus Goliath story, except David's the heel, which I always like that dynamic. Hanson made a great comeback, that was spirited. He didn't tap out or anything like that. And then when the Undisputed Era came out to try and cause a ruckus, that's always entertaining because Cole is just so animated. I think that's part of why the Undisputed Era works so well, beyond the aesthetic and the cool factor and everything. They're all just such animated guys, and they're like very boisterous personalities, except for Bobby Fish. But even Bobby Fish, I feel like, has kind of found a bit of a voice with the Undisputed Era. It's kind of weird.
Dude, everything the Undisputed Era touches just becomes amazing.
It's like, Bobby, join us. Then you'll know what it's like to be Q. So
yes. Oh my God, tonight is South Park.
That's right, with more Red Dead Redemption 2 references. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this match. I mean, your live reactions, I feel like should have been part of this review one for it because they were gold. I loved it. And again, Undisputed Era is one of the coolest things in wrestling. And not only are they one of the coolest things in wrestling, they continue to be one of the most dominant factions in wrestling because they do win this match. Because after a big melee between the remaining Undisputed Era members and the remaining members of the other team, because it's Hanson, so that leaves Rowe, Pete Dunne, and Ricochet. So those three were kind of brawling. Kyle O'Reilly hits Hanson in the back of the head with the tag title belt, rolls him over, gets the cover, the 3 count, and Adam Cole is just like, you did it, we did it, War Games is ours. So Cole is like,
did he really say that? All I heard was the "you did it" part.
No, dude, I think an actual quote from Total Divas episodes TDE Wrestling, that GIF account that everybody should follow if you don't. They captured it. You did it, we did it. War Games is ours.
Oh my god, that's almost like that one time when Alex Riley won a match and the Miz was like, he did it, we did it, I did it.
Yeah, and TDE Wrestling wrote, a great leader like Adam Cole knows the value of positive reinforcement, so you didn't even have to pull out the Cold handbook, like they did it for you. Like,
yeah, TDE.
Oh man, no, it was great, man. I freaking love Undisputed Era. More importantly, I loved your reactions to Undisputed Era and specifically Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly, I gotta say too, because I don't think this is really touched on in your live reactions, at least not to the degree that I was laughing my ass off. His initial face when Undisputed Era is helping up, and they're like,
yeah,
you did it.
I laughed my ass off at that for sure. Yeah,
he's like, yo, Adam.
The reason that you didn't hear me laughing is because you were laughing.
Yeah, it was straight out of Rocky, like, yo, Adam, I did it. Looking fucking punch drunk and shit. O'Reilly, man, I honestly think if we ever have to split up the Undisputed Era, which honestly, if there would ever be a faction that I would want to be like the New Day, it honest to God would be a team like the Undisputed Era. Why have these guys fight each other when they can fight the world? Because I will never get tired of that. But if they would ever have to split up, I think Kyle O'Reilly would be one hell of a babyface. The dude is so fucking animated and so legit in the ring. He walks that line perfectly, and it's great. It's freaking great. So that's how we end NXT. Anything else you want to say about this main event?
I don't think so, man. I just loved it. You know what? Yeah, I do have things to say about this main event because I absolutely adore that they sent their submission specialist out there to ensure that even if they don't necessarily win the man advantage, they are going to have an advantage going into War Games because he is going to cause damage to his opponent that will not go away in 3 days.
Absolutely.
And it ended up working out even better because he ended up taking out one of the legs of one of their high flyers. Like Hanson is their second high flyer after Ricochet, and O'Reilly took out one of his legs. It was awesome. I loved it.
And not only that, but also because I was not only mindful of the match, but mindful to your live reactions and just like your live commentary. Not only did they do that to Hanson, they did it to Dunn as well, because I believe it was Roderick Strong that clipped his knee. So that's two guys whose legs they targeted. Again, to your point. So yeah, Undisputed Era, man, working smarter, not harder, because they're not works. And yeah, there you go. I don't know how this result will influence my overall predictions at TakeOver War Games, but again, you guys will have to wait till tomorrow to find out. But yeah, really fun main event. I got nothing else to say. What about you, partner?
I just loved the main event segment from beginning to end. From between, honestly, O'Reilly here really did kind of remind me of 2016 Naito with the way he kept on focusing on Hanson's leg and stuff. I just loved it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. That's actually a great point. I didn't really think about that. All right.
I just think back to the Naito Omega block finals match that they had in 2016, and it reminds me so much of this.
Yeah. No, I can understand that perfectly. All right then. That was NXT. So guys, before we get to our final segment, very quickly, first of all, check out the TWitWoW Facebook page. Leave a like on the page if you can. Follow Ashton and myself on Twitter. Ashton's pinned tweet is the TWitWoW schedule for the month of November.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you said something because now I got to go and actually pin the new schedule because I updated the schedule and now it's really looking different.
And I was getting ready to say, guys, that schedule, you never know when it's going to be updated. Commentaries added, redacted, moved around. So if you ever want to keep your finger on the pulse, like what's TWitWoW doing, today or this week or whatever, it's all on Ashton's pinned tweet. Check it out. My pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. Q&A is November 29th. You have got just a little over 2 weeks left to get your Q&A questions in. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Discord. Here's the thing, guys. Q&A for non-Patreon donors is now 3 questions per Q&A. For those that donate to the Patreon, you get up to 5 questions per Q&A. I think it's a great evaluation. Certainly shakes up Q&A quite a bit. But yeah, I just want you guys to know that in case you're replying to the pin tweet and you're not a Patreon donor, it is only 3 questions. And I even have that expressed in the pin tweet. So go reply to it, get your questions in. You can divide your questions up however you like. Again, a little over 2 weeks, get to it. Check out our Teespring store. We have a variety of merchandise, everything from Scum Squad merch to Scum Squad t-shirts and mugs to drink the tears of your enemies. And there are plenty of tears going around lately. Becky has been supplying me so many of Rhonda's tears. It's amazing. And who could forget Ruby Riott making Natalia cry? You know, the best way to drink those tears is straight out of a Scum Squad mug. We have TWitWoW specific merch. I'm a TWitWoW guy. I'm a TWitWoW girl. We also have wrestler specific merch. Kevin Owens, because he's a father, damn it. Braun Strowman, Emma, real face of the women's revolution, and more. Check out the Teespring and see what fits for you today. And finally, I would like to plug the Patreon. Guys, the way the Patreon is working now, just to give you a breakdown, our goal is still $120 per month. We did not hit that goal this month. We were just shy of it by a little bit because I'm looking at the Patreon now.
Oh, yeah, I was even going to say, we don't necessarily have to have the $120 goal. We have multiple goals now.
That is true. Because really the way it's working out, guys, is essentially, I mean, I'm looking at 120, but like I said, that's not the only goal. We have multiple goals now. But we're live reacting to 3 hours of wrestling every week of the following month. And then we let you, our patrons, decide what content we react to. So for this month, what we've been doing is we've been reacting to back-to-back episodes of NXT UK. We did that today. You can check them out on the channel. Next month, it could be, maybe NXT UK and 205 Live, or maybe the actual American, US version of NXT. I don't know. That there's a lot of ways that it can go, and I think that really opens up the possibilities. Really lets a lot of possibilities kind of breathe in rather than constrict them. So if you're thinking, man, 3 hours of live reactions from TWitWoW every week, I get to hear John's insanity and Ashton just being all adorable and weird. I want as much of that as possible. How can I help? Well, the best way you can do that, friend, is by donating $3 and joining the TWitWoW Discord, the ultimate fan server experience. There you will find the most passionate TWitWoW fans, as well as Ashton and myself, as we talk about everything under the sun. If you can think it, we're probably talking about it. So, yeah, that, and I think also what's so great about that offer, you donate $3, you get into the TWitWoW Discord, you help Team TWitWoW achieve our goal, you help the community get us to do 3 hours of live reactions every week of wrestling content. But if you're thinking, yeah, that's all well and good, but what about me? Well, you also get content control, because as I always break it down, the more you maintain your Patreon donation, the more you maintain your membership in the Discord at the bare minimum, the more likely you are to have content control in the future. I'll give you an example. You stay in the Discord 10 months, $3 a month, that comes out to $30. You could cash that in immediately for a live reaction to a 3-hour show. You could let your account accrue even beyond that, save up a lot of money, and you could do what Javaris has done this month, because we were originally not going to do SmackDown live reactions, and Javaris is like, man, that's not agreeable to my tax bracket. I want SmackDown live reactions, so I'm going to use my account to get you guys to do it. And through a very generous donation, here we are doing SmackDown live reactions. And thank goodness, too, because we just saw Daniel Bryan become the new WWE champion. So the more you let the account build, the more your possibilities grow, the more content we will react and or review. So, yeah, I think it's a win-win-win-win. Please consider donating to the Patreon. We would immensely appreciate it. Now, with that said, we can get into our final segment, high spots and low shots. These are always a bit weirder to do, given that go-home shows are usually a mixture of in-ring matches and video packages. But I will say my low shot will be Mia Yim. She thought that she could defeat Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair was not to be stopped. She continues her undefeated streak. Meanwhile, Mia Yim, 2 weeks into NXT, is already 1-1. So she's not going to have a dominant streak or whatever. Her booking's it's a bit of a seesaw right now. So I'm going to say that Mia Yim, the Blasian baddie, is my low shot. What about you, Ashton?
Oh, man, that's a really low blow. It sucks that you had to go there, but I can't say I blame you. That said, though, my easy low shot is going to it's going to be really Team Warper. All 4 guys really are at a disadvantage because Hanson and Dunn both have bum legs. and they're at a man disadvantage because of O'Reilly winning the match. So really, really unfortunate situation for that whole team.
Yeah, that's an excellent pick, man. I completely agree. High spot. Let me see where I want to go here. I guess I'll just go on the other side. The match is set up for me. Bianca Belair, because I have to imagine that whatever happens with Shayna Kyrie, that Bianca will be the next number one contender, even if Shayna would win, which again, we'll give the full breakdown tomorrow in preview and predictions. Bianca got such a reaction tonight from the crowd that I think they could pull that feud off if they wanted to. I really do believe that Bianca Belair might as well be considered the number one contender, and she's still undefeated, so she's my high spot.
That makes a lot of sense. You made my decision easy. Adam Cole's already my high spot, but my honorary high spot's going to go to his teammate Kyle O'Reilly. I'm just sticking with the main event. You stuck with the same match. I did the same thing. Kyle O'Reilly had an amazing showing against Hanson, did his job multiple times over, and picked up the W. He did it, John. He did it.
We did it. War Games is theirs. No, man, great pick. I completely understand that. With that said, guys, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my co-writer commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment on the video when it's done processing. What did you think of this go-home show? How hyped are you currently for War Games? What do you think about Undisputed Era gaining the man advantage? Has Bianca Belair finally become the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship? Talk to us. Be sure to like the video if you haven't. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Subscribe to your new favorite wrestling podcast if you haven't, and click the bell icon for notifications so you never again miss any of that sweet TWitWoW goodness. And we will see you guys again tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for our NXT TakeOver War Games preview and predictions. We will run up and down the card and give our thoughts on every match taking place at this TakeOver, everything from Ciampa Dream to Gargano Black, all the way to the War Games main event. You'll get all your best thoughts here at TWitWoW. And until then, guys, tune in and peace out.